Okay, well, good Saturday morning, New York Jet fans and NFL fans. It is December 18th, 2021, 7:18 a.m., and we are in week 15 of the NFL's 2021-2022 season. And it's just blown by. Um, can't believe how quickly this has gone. Uh, I wish it would have been a little better for the Jets because I don't think I'm going to hit um, my prediction of 6-11, which, let's be honest, was a pretty sad prediction to begin with. But still, you know, with I guess 3 or 4 games left, there's really no. They'd have to win out, and they have Miami, Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, and Buffalo. So they have 4 games left. They are at 3 wins, so they have to win 3 out of the 4. I see them winning 1 out of the 4, but that's a story for another day. Um, basically, and I'm going to head right into this first. New York football has been abysmal uh, for the last 5 years or so. It's been 5 years since, well, actually 6 years since the Jets were a little bit relevant under Todd Bowles in that 2015 season when they went to a winning in game in Buffalo and went up losing there, and Fitzpatrick throwing a few picks and just not being able to do anything. Um, and since then, it's been downhill. With Fitzpatrick coming back the following year and having a bad year, and then, of course, McCone, not McCone, yeah, coming in for a few years, and then drafting Sam Donald, and then of course, you know, um, Bowles is gone, and Gase comes in for a waste of 2 years, and now we're in the fourth quarter of the Coach Sala era, and right now, um, there is there's no excitement. I want to say, you know, um, and any other Jet fan or any other fan of a team who follows them so intently could tell you. You can remember years where even when the team wasn't as good as you expected, or they were as good as you expected, just weren't good. You could see if there was progress or not. And right now, my concern is there's no progress. And I thought with Coach Sala coming over, that younger mentality that, you could see his excitement on the sidelines when he was a defensive coordinator. But he's taken over an organization who hasn't won in over 50 years, whose legacy, if you will, on a positive note, is Joe Namath. And yes, you could say, Joe Namath is a legend. He was or is, but you're talking generations. You're talking 3 years before I was born that they won. So it's been a long time. We are not the Detroit Lions, uh, but we have been there, and it's been a rough ride for a lot of Jet fans. And we get that you have to build a program, and it's not going to be an overnight sensation. It's not going to be a snap your fingers and you have this competitor. I mean, look at the Saints. They were years owning eights, and and now every year they seem to be competitive, even when they're down players, or even though their star quarterback retires. Um, they have the consistency with the coaching staff and whatnot. So the Jets haven't had that. The Jets never had real consistent positive outlook. And I could go through the seasons, and you want to start in the '90s where they were in a position to make the playoffs twice in the '90s. I think they made it once. Um, and then Parcells came in '97 and they missed it by a game, and then got to the playoffs in '98 and then missed it in '99 and missed it in 2000. It's just been inconsistency all around. Um, the only thing that is consistent is that they know a way to knock you down. Either they have the wide receivers and not the QB. They have the running back and not the line. They have the defense, but not the pass rusher. And they haven't had a real natural pass rusher. they want to say from John Abraham, and I think even prior to that, John Abraham was good, but he wasn't here long enough to really, you know, solidify his time with the Jets, and he was looking to get out, and then I believe he went to Atlanta. Jonathan Vilma, Hugh Douglas, anybody. You can just go through the names. So this is just another season where you're excited about the hire. You're excited about the very early draft pick in the QB. You're excited about the offensive coordinator who comes from a pedigree of good coaching, and this is what you get on the field. And it's fine if you're building, but right now I don't see any building. Um, I see them being just the same as they were week one than they were week five and last week. And again, if you tell me in 2 years' time this needs to be a powerhouse team with a powerhouse coaching staff and the QB and the defensive backs, and I'll take it. But I just seem to hear rebuild, 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 rebuild. It takes time. It's a process, and excuse me, Jet fans are getting impatient, and that's what it is. It's an impatience of when will we take the next step? When will we be those contenders? And yeah, 09 and 10 were great, but I knew from the moment we lost that game in Pittsburgh, from the moment Roethlisberger completed that third and short, it was going to be a long time before we were in that position again. And we haven't been close to that position. It's not an easy thing to build and to keep consistent. The Patriots, the Chiefs, um, Dallas and the 49ers of the 90s, those are teams who are an anomaly. And the Patriots just keep coming back. I mean, just look at them. They're in sole possession of first place right now. But that's just my take. I don't want to see another coaching change. I think Salah deserves another excuse me, another season or two to prove himself. Um, I do think though Zach Wilson needs to step up for next year. Um, and even when he does the rest of this year, I remember Donald's rookie season, those last 4 or 5 games. I think they won like 3 in a row towards the end, or 4 in a row towards the end. Donald was really coming along, and in the last game of the season, they lost to Green Bay in overtime. But you could see he felt a little more comfortable than he was at the beginning of the year. You could see he had chemistry with his tight end. You could see there was a building process there. And then, they wound up firing balls and getting Gase. And, Donald now, even in um, Carolina, is not, uh, the quarterback we thought he'd be. And, it happens, you know. But as a Jet fan, why does it always happen? Why, why do our draft picks not pan out? And, my cousin, we were talking the other day about um, draft position, and, the Jets will probably have 2 picks within uh, the first 10, 10. They'll probably have 2 of the first 10 picks. One will probably be a top five. One will probably be a top seven to a top 10, I believe, with Seattle. Depending on how Seattle ends. Can you trust this GM to make these picks? I mean, yeah, he's done deals where he's made trades and brought players in. They actually, my buddy texted me something. The Jamal Adams trade is probably the worst trade right now in NFL history. Um, on the side of Seattle. Seattle went after him. They had gave him big money. They thought he'd anchor that defense, and he just has been a disappointment there. But for the Jets side of it, they're getting a first round pick, and that's just something that worked out for them. But can you trust Joe Douglas to make this pick count? Or even if he takes this pick and trades it for multiple picks, can you trust him to make those multiple picks count? And that's where you lose the Jet fans' confidence because we've been there. We've seen the Blair Thomases. We've seen the Vernon Gholstons. We've seen Uh, there's just too many to even mention. But that's where we are right now with the Jets with 4 games left. Um, and I'll go into the preview for this week. In other news, I said New York football. The Giants are just as bad. There is um, a rumor that Gettleman is gone, their GM, and their coach is gone, and probably Daniel Jones is gone. Then there was another report that came out that no, Joe Judge already knows he's coming back next year. So the Giants, who to me are the New York Yankees of the NFL, um, are down at that disappointment also, and I have to laugh. And the every year, most of the teams, I know the Jets do, a fan appreciation day. What they do is a lower prices on the concession for like up to 30 minutes before kickoff. And to me, it's like lower them for the first half. You know, um, you'll walk around, there'll be little kiosks, and they'll be handing out, maybe free Dunkin' Donuts, hot chocolate. They'll be handing out keychains, scarves, hats, swag bags and stuff like that. So yesterday, and I don't know who is the marketing genius behind this, but for Sunday's game, I think it's Sunday's game, fan appreciation is going to be a free medium size soda. Now, listen, I know 80,000 free sodas. um, it sounds like a lot, but in the whole scheme of things, the amount of money that you pay to go to these games, the amount of money you pay to park, a free soda. Now, I will say this: the Jets do something which I think is great. Every year, and they've done this probably the past 5 years. They put on your account uh, Jet Cash. So depending on where you sit, you get so much money per ticket on there to spend. In the first few years, it was just food, but now you can use it anywhere. But at the end of the year, it runs out. So we have 4 games left. I think I forgot what I had on mine, but last week we started using it. We went to the Jet Shop. We bought a shirt. That's probably normally $30. It was 45, but it's still not. It's Jet money. It's not my money. We bought a hot chocolate. And we're going to use this. And I think to me that's better than in the beginning of the year getting that Jet bumper sticker or that Jet scarf or that Jet pair of gloves. This is actually something you can use. And yes, it goes back to the Jets. And yes, you're buying their product. But if you go into the Jet shop and you're not going to buy something with your own cash most of the time, especially when you're a season ticket holder because you know the prices. But if you have this amount of money that can go in there, then I think that's pretty good, and I think that's one of the I'll call it the small perks of being a season ticket holder. The big perks are supposed to come when they make the playoffs and you get playoff tickets and um, you get the same seats and whatnot. But for the everyday, you know, perk, this is something really cool. And to see that the Giants are offering a free soda just is laughable. They were just ripped apart, on social media and on the radio yesterday. And I hope that they come up with something better for their fans, especially if it's this week, because this week they played the Cowboys, and I think you're going to look at like 85% capacity for Cowboys for their fans. Um, so looking at the games for this weekend, and I should say this week is really really screwed up, and I want to pull up the schedule. So basically, this weekend was supposed to be uh, a Thursday night game, two Saturday night games, well, two Saturday games, one afternoon, one evening, a Sunday slate, and then a Monday slate, a Monday game. Due to very high positive COVID cases around some of the teams that are playing this weekend, they altered some of the games because now you're looking at playoff implications this weekend, especially this late in the season. So we're going to start Saturday night. Patriots in Indianapolis playing the Colts. Um, Listen, the Patriots are on fire. I think Belichick. has Mac Jones doing exactly what he needs to do to be successful and to manage a game. The Colts have a good defense. It's going to be a great matchup. I don't believe in that home field advantage, especially when you're playing the Patriots when you're home. It can go either way. And I think the Patriots win in Indianapolis, and I think the Patriots take a grasp on first place in the AFC East. Sunday now, because there's supposed to be two games Saturday, so now we're going to the Sunday game since they moved to Saturday night game. Well, they moved to Saturday afternoon game. Cowboys at Giants. Cowboys looking to win the East. They're at 9-4. Giants are at 4-9. Uh, Daniel Jones is done for the season. I think McLennan is their QB. I think they do nothing. They're going to lose. Dallas is going to win big. They're going to go to 10 wins, and they're going to take that big step in clinching the AFC East. I'm sorry, NFC East. Texans and Jaguars are like, wow. The only thing this does is make implications for the early part of the draft. Texans 2-11, Jaguars 2-11. They're in Jacksonville. Urban Meyer was let go, I believe, Wednesday night. A lot of things going on there. A lot of controversy with him there. Um, but I think Jacksonville wins this game because I think they just have more talent than the Texans. I think the Texans are just going backwards. They're not the Texans' defense of the past. And I think Jacksonville wins this and rallies around their interim coach who will take it over and try to salvage, to their home schedule. Titans at Steelers, and the Steelers are fighting for a playoff spot. They're 6-6-1. Titans are 9-4. A win just about solidifies the spot. I don't think it clinches anything yet, but I think a win really puts them in a good position of obviously a 10-4 atop their division or even the conference. So I think the Titans win in Pittsburgh. I don't know what the weather's going to be like, but I know you're looking at December weather in Pittsburgh, and that can always be tricky. It's just like being up in Buffalo. Um, and I'm looking at NFL Network, and they're actually talking about Jet fans. You know, they're showing a crowd, they're showing people cheering, and they're showing how as bad as a team is, fans cheering, and I think that's great. Um, it takes a lot to be a Jet fan. You know, I'm a Yankee fan, and Yankees didn't make the playoffs or didn't make the World Series or whatever it was. You're like, all right, well they didn't make it, but look at all the success we've had. They're allowed to stumble a few times. Jet fans, they just keep stumbling. So Jets, I can say, they just keep stumbling, and we keep coming back, and hopefully we'll get paid back tenfold for that. Uh, Cardinals go to the Lions, and that's just you know the Lions again. I think will get the first pick in the draft. They uh, they have one win and one tie on the year, and Cardinals are now 10-3. They're looking to go to 11-3. Really get home field advantage. They're battling with Tampa Bay. They're battling with the Rams for home field advantage, and I think this game the Cardinals win easily over the Lions. They'll go to 11-3. Lions will fall to 1-12-1. Panthers and the Bills, and they said it on FAN in the morning yesterday. You look back at September, October, and you say, "Wow, the Bills are a powerhouse." And I said it. I thought the Bills were going to win the AFC East. I thought the Bills were going to be in the AFC Championship game. Not sure if they were going to win it. And now they're 7-6 and fighting for still contention of first place in the AFC East, but still fighting for a wild card as well. Um, they should easily beat the Panthers, and they should go to 8-6 and keep pace um, with the AFC East, with the Patriots, and with the AFC playoff picture. And that game is going to be in Buffalo. And again, we don't know what the weather's going to be like up there. Bengals and Broncos. Both of these teams. Well, I should say the Bengals disappointed me a little bit. I thought they'd be at 9 wins at this point. They're at 7. The Broncos are at 7. Um, this is a game the Bengals need. I think they're a better team than the Broncos. I keep saying the Browns. I think they're a team that should be in the playoffs, and if they're going to make the playoffs and get into a wild card or a division win, this is the game they need to win. Um, and I think the Bengals will. They'll go to 8-6. Broncos will go to 7-7. Falcons and 49ers. Falcons come up with 6 wins. I mean, early in the season, the Falcons had 1 win that was against the Giants. Their second win came a few weeks later against the Jets in London. They put together another 4 wins over that stretch. Not a big accomplishment, but they're 6-7. They're still mathematically alive. 49ers are 7-6. Uh, just from a Falcon point of view, I like Matt Ryan. I'd like to see them win this game. I don't know if they could, but I'm going to pick them to win. They go 7-7 and drop the 49ers to 7-7. Packers and Ravens. Lamar Jackson is out. He had, I believe, a sprain of his ankle. They're in Baltimore. This is a tough game, but I think because Lamar is out, the Packers have that extra, the upper hand now. They'll go to 11-3, then the Ravens will fall to 8-6, and you know, for the Ravens looking at winning a division, they could be at a playoff spot with the wild card, or maybe not even making it. So these games have really big implications this week as we get into the last part of the season. Saints at Buccaneers, and I think Tom Brady is in December form. He's been in December form the whole season. Um, Buccaneers are going to win this game at home. They're going to go to 11-3. Saints will fall to 6-8. I saw the Saints play the Jets last week. They're not a good team. They're on their third string quarterback. Um, but they played a poor Jets team who could not get anything going. But I don't think the Saints are a team that you could say, yeah, I think they can take on the Buccaneers. Raiders and Browns, and the Raiders who put up a good fight earlier in the season with everything going on with their coach and with their players and whatnot, have dropped a few. They're at 6-7. Browns are at 7-6, and the Browns I really thought were a playoff team. They've fallen down to earth. Mayfield getting hurt. Um, now, this is a game that was originally slated for today. This is going to be played Monday in Cleveland. Um, because of the COVID, I think actually Baker Mayfield's out and their backup quarterback is on the COVID list. So moving this, I don't know what it does to their lineup, but the NFL thought it would be a smart move to move it. Uh, if the Browns are down to their third string quarterback, I don't see them having any chance of winning this game. Um, I think the only thing is them being home is a bit of an advantage, but I think the Raiders win this game. 7-7 they'll go. Browns will fall to 7-7, and this is where you'll have your tiebreakers fall in towards the end of the season. Um, Vikings and Bears. This is a Monday night game as well. I believe this is the originally slated Monday night game. And what's weird is both of these games, they won't overlap. So the Browns game will start at 5 p.m. Eastern. The Vikings game will start at the 8:15 time that usually starts on Monday night. I think the Vikings beat the Bears. They go to 7-7. Keep their slim hopes alive. I don't think they're a good team at all. Bears fall to 4-10. Seahawks at the Rams. Seahawks have 5 wins. So if they win out, they can go to 9 wins, and that'll really put a damper on the Jets' first round pick for them. They're playing the Rams. The Rams are going to outmuscle this team, and I think the Seahawks go to 5-9. So I don't think they'll get to 9 wins this year. You know, um, I think they just when Wilson went down, they're just not a good team. I don't think the team wants to play anymore. Um, there's rumors of Wilson going someplace. I wouldn't be surprised if Pete Carroll goes, maybe retires or moves on someplace else. But I think the Rams win. They'll go to 10-4. They'll keep pace with the Bucks. They'll keep pace with the Cardinals. And it's going to be a wild 3 weeks after this to see how this pans out. So now the Tuesday game. Tuesday game we have. Now I think they were supposed to play today as well. Um, Washington football team at Philly. Washington's still mathematically alive. They can catch Dallas. But that takes Dallas losing, it takes Washington winning. Both teams, Washington and the Eagles, are 6-7. Um, I think Washington has a chance to win this game. I don't think the Eagles are talented enough to win this game. Not that you need a lot of talent against Washington, but I think Washington will be able to handle them. Washington goes to 7-7. The Eagles fall to 6-8. And I'd love to see Washington, fight the next 3 weeks and give a little scare to Dallas, because Dallas has just been walking away with this. So let's look at our Jets very quickly. As you realized, I didn't do a Monday morning video this week. I did actually a post game on Sunday because I was just so annoyed of how the Jets played, and the production on the field, and the penalties, and the miscommunications, and the ball coming out of Zach's head and bouncing, three yards before his receiver, and it's just I did not have the head to do another one the next day. I think I covered a lot um, that day of my frustration. Listen, they're going into Miami. Miami has a pretty tight defense. They've stepped up late. They've strung together, I believe, 5 wins in a row. Um, they they're coming together. They're finding their own, Miami. I will say that to them. And I just want to pull up. I want to see what their so Miami is 6-7. Listen, Miami could turn things around. They've won 5 in a row. So they were 1-7 at one point. Okay, Miami with a win is at 7-7, and if Buffalo loses, or if New England loses, all of a sudden there's a three-way race for that AFC East. I think I'm looking at my predictions. I had the Jets splitting with Miami. I had to beat them in November, and I had them losing tomorrow in Miami. And listen, if I have to bet with my head, I think Miami wins this game. They just have a lot more talent on defense. They're going to come after a rookie QB who has happy feet, who has not shown me anything other than a few good passes in a couple of games. You know, I think Miami would win tomorrow. I think that, and I don't usually do this, but I think they said the spread's like 9.5. Uh, Miami may cover that. I don't know if they're going to cover the 9.5. It's close. I think Miami wins 23-16. So there'll be a touchdown win. If I have to bet with my heart and say, the Jets are going to go in there, they're going to surprise me. They had a great week of practice. Um, I think the Jets go in there and they win like 14-13. Um, you know, but what I want to see, and I say this every week, right now the wins and losses don't mean anything. Yes, you want to get that W, but I want to see progress. I want to see Zach throw 2 TDs, no INTs. I want to see Zach make that short slant pass without taking the guy's head off, without throwing the ball 180 miles an hour. I want to see him go through his progressions. I want to see the offensive line keep him up. I want to see a 100-yard rusher. I want to see a lot, but I just want to see steps forward. Um, because we've been either stuck in the mud or taking steps back. And with the last 4 games, let's get some progress. Let's get some steps going. I'm not a fond believer, a true believer that what you do towards the end of the season goes into next season, because next season doesn't start. You don't have mini camp until April. So you have 3 or 4 good games from your QB in December and January. What does that mean in April? Nothing really. But because your momentum stops. But maybe see that he's learning the game. See that the game is slowing down for him is what's happening. Um, so that's it. Have a great weekend. Have a blessed weekend. Have a blessed weekend, whatever you call it. However you say it. Be safe. Stay healthy. Um, enjoy. You have 4 days of football coming up. You have a game today, a slate of games tomorrow, 2 on Monday, and 1 on Tuesday. And then before you know it, you're into Christmas. I will do more videos this week. I'll do my 2 videos this week for the review and the preview. But enjoy the holiday season. And again, when you go out, stay safe, stay healthy. Listen, contact me, Twitter at the Takeoff, Facebook page, the Takeoff. Join the group. This this video, the Takeoff, is on YouTube. Subscribe to it, retweet it, tell your friends about it. Alex Parziale, you can Google it. And of course, you can email us at thejets.takeoff@gmail.com. Let us know, do you have any Christmas ornaments at the Jets? Do you have any, you know, Santa, Christmas, you know, jet gear? What do you do for the holidays? You have, a jet tree put up. Are you going to the game next week against Jacksonville? Are you going to the game this week in Miami? Tell us about your game day. We'd love to hear it. Love to produce it, and put it on the video, and we love to promote other fans. Have a great day and go Jets.